Good morning. Hi, it's Daniel McCrane with McCrane Associates. I am back live. Got done with my traveling over the weekend, and so I am live again. Today is Tuesday, so you know that this is live today. Had a couple recordings while I was traveling, of course. But just to remind you a little bit about what McCrane Associates does, who we are. Small business owners on us. They contact us to help them increase their profitability through the different strategies that we use. We work on their scalability of their business through our systemized approach to building business. And we also help them with their legacy through our long term planning and exit strategies in the business. And that's guaranteed, by the way. Um, to our knowledge, we're the only business consultant and exit planning company out there with a guarantee for our services. So, love to talk to you about that if you'd like to know more. Today, what I wanted to talk about was a client that I worked with who almost sold, almost merged. So it is still a success story. So that's good news. But it didn't happen, didn't quite come off. So I was working with a client, helping them grow their business, get some things systematized, put some things in place, reduce the workload of the owner. And as we were building the business, it became a lot more attractive, expanded operations, expanded their territory, expanded the clientele. And in fact, this company was becoming highly sought out by the clientele. So clients needed a service, couldn't find it anywhere else, and so they would call on my client for help. It got to the point where there was so much demand for service that my client couldn't handle all the service anymore. Was very, very complicated to take on all the clients. And so, because of that, and because of his success, and this is also another important part, another key part of this conversation was my client was very good friends with his largest competitor. Now, a competitor, but they weren't quite in the same space. They did the same thing, provided the same service, but didn't quite serve the same clientele. There was a little bit of a distinction there in who their clientele were. So, my client specialized in working with this type of person. His competitor specialized in working with this type of person. Well, through some conversations with each other, because they were really good friends, they started to have some conversations about why are we doing this separately? Should we be doing this together? And I tell you this because that conversation would not take place if my client had not done the work that we worked on together, which was the plan was to reduce his workload, to get him out of the field, basically, so that he could actually run the operations of his company. And so it was much more successful at that point, and it really made sense for the two of them to talk about merging. So conversations went through. They had very cordial conversations, no issues there at all. And that's really the end of the story as far as the success goes. The success was my client's company grew to the point where a merger conversation made sense. Well, they didn't actually go through. There were some other things. For whatever reason, between the two of them, I'm not privy to all the details, but it just wasn't quite the right thing to do. And so the merger did not take place. But the success story is my client got their business to the point where he could actually have a conversation with someone about merging. So instead, he decided just to stay the size he is and just work with the clientele that he's got and just continue forward from there, which is not a bad decision. This is not a failure that the merger didn't take place. It's a success that the merging conversation could take place. It's also a success that he chose to run his business the way that he chooses to run his business. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that decision either. So it's entirely possible in your business, the way you're running your business, if you're satisfied, if everything is running well and you're very happy with it, there's nothing wrong with the way that you're running your business either. Maybe you don't need additional profitability or scalability or to talk more about how you're going to exit your business with a big pile of cash in hand that will actually fund your retirement. Maybe those are things that you don't need to talk about, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted to share that story with you. I was very proud of my client that he started that conversation with his competitor, and they at least had the conversation. So that was a very good feeling when that happened. Well, with that, everyone, I am going to go ahead.